So this meeting is going to be live streamed on YouTube as well. So don't say anything you don't want your mom to hear and see.
Or don't let your mom know that it's being live streamed.
What if, okay, hypothetically, what if BKC Fireflies become so famous that your mother hears about it? And then she's like, "Hey, BKC Fireflies, let me follow them on YouTube." And then suddenly YouTube recommends this one video, the one we live streamed to your mother. In that case, what are you going to do? You're not going to blame YouTube for recommending the.
I wouldn't blame YouTube, but I would be happier that BKC Fireflies has become so famous. So I'll like at that cost, I wouldn't mind probably.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. Very good answer. So, Rimsi, I heard you were saying that you were traveling over the weekend. Are you going out of Bombay?
Yeah, I'm traveling to Andaman and Nicobar Islands
very
with my
nice.
parents.
Right. What traveling? Just jump out of the sea, jump out of your apartment into the Arabian Sea, and
Well, I live in Thane, so it's quite far, but yeah, beach
Next
is
time.
great. Yeah.
Oh, 59. Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spotlight if you don't mind. And just make sure you remind everyone that the meeting is being live streamed. Okay?
Yeah, but okay. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Rimsi, and I will be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all for the 158th meeting of the BKC Fireflies Toastmasters. Before starting off the meeting, I would like to mention 3 ground rules that we follow in our Toastmasters meeting. First, please do not talk about sex, religion, and politics. Second, if you're not speaking, please put yourself on mute. Third, please turn off your video camera if you're stepping off of the meeting. Let me remind you all that this meeting is also being live streamed on YouTube. Also remember to rename yourself as your role followed by your name. As a Toastmaster Club, our mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce the meeting has opened and would like to welcome our wonderful, amazing presiding officer, Toastmaster Nidhi Rajda. Over to you, Nidhi. Is she here?
Nidhi is here, but her video.
Yeah, there she is. Wait.
1 second. Nidhi, all yours.
Am I audible?
Yes. We can hear you, Nidhi.
Okay, thank you. Very warm welcome to all the members on BKC Fireflies Toastmasters, fellow members and the guests. Today, there's another exciting Toastmaster meeting. Every week, we come together with a one goal, to create a supportive and a positive space where we can grow as a speaker and a leaders. Our mission is simple, to help each other build confidence, improve communication, and develop a leadership skills. We believe in learning together, whether you're just starting your journey or already as an experienced speaker. This club is more than just a place to practice our speeches. It's a community where we support, inspire, and challenge each other to be a better. So let's make the most of today's meeting, learn something new, and most importantly, have a fun. But before that, I want to share one small story. So in the last 2 days, I went on a food adventure, trying all the kind of new dishes. Some were spicy, some were sweet, and some had flavors. I never expected every meal was a surprise to me, and I enjoyed every bite of it. Then I realized food is like a public speaking. A good speech is like a good dish, which has the right mix of ingredients, the ideas, the emotions, and the energy. Sometimes we take a risk and try something new, just like a speaking in a front of an audience. And even if it's not a perfect, we learn and improve. So today, let's treat our speeches like a great meal. Enjoy the process, be bold, and have fun. Are there any guesses?
We have Sham who's joining us for the first time, I think, in a while. And Harsh is here as well as a guest.
So, Harsh, what inspired you to attend today's meeting at our club? Is he there?
He's there, but his video's off. Maybe you can go with Sham.
So, hi, Shyam.
Hello. Hi. Good evening, everybody. And thank you, Nidhi. So I had been a Toastmaster for a while. I was active at the Morgan Stanley Tech Talkers Club. And the most enjoyable part of those meetings were that it was right in middle of the workday. So when things are getting super heated and stressful, that was like a great stress buster once a week. And I really missed those meetings. After that, I switched my job role to another company which didn't have a corporate club, so I wasn't able to continue. But I was just looking up different clubs in the city, and I want to try to get back into it. So yeah, that is what made me join. It's always great to it's fun to talk to people, to listen to different ideas, perspectives. At the same time, you're becoming a more confident speaker. You're gaining great skills of speaking and listening, which aid leadership skills. So yeah, that's what inspired me to join this meeting, and I'm super excited and happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shyam, or we can call ex-Toastmaster Shyam. Hope you'll find a better club than a Morgan Stanley. Moving forward, do we have any other guest?
We
Are we
have
expecting?
Harsh is not, looks like he's not, his camera's not on. Ritika is a guest, though she was here last time as well. So let me spotlight Ritika. She's also taking up a role.
Hello, Ritika.
Hi,
Welcome back again. So I want to ask you
thank
what
you.
motivated you to come back to this club, but I just need a short intro regarding what is your today's role and why did you want to join this club, or are you aiming to become a part of this club?
So, my role
People are
is
very exciting here.
for timers, and today I will be playing timer's role. And uh, I enjoyed last meeting of BKC Fireflies. So, actually, I like to take opportunity from wherever it comes. I like to take it. So that's why I again took this opportunity so that it will enhance my skills. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritika. So without further delay, let me call today upon a stage our very famous and charming Toastmaster of the day, CMOD Sai. Over to you.
Charming is one word that has never ever been used for me in my entire life. So let me just thank Nidhi very formally for using that word for me. I'm going to put it on in my journal tonight that somebody called me charming today. Yay. Anyway, so in BKC Fireflies, we meet on the first, third, and fifth Thursday of every month. And the fifth Thursday meeting, which is the meeting today, because this is the fifth Thursday of January, tends to be a meeting which is usually a little shorter, a little more quick paced. There's not much of a theme or anything like that because we want to get more and more people completing their speeches. So with that background in mind, I don't really have a theme as such for tonight's meeting, but the structure of the meeting is going to be similar to what you're familiar with. There'll be a couple of prepared speeches, though no table topics, and then we'll switch directly into the evaluation segment And I will also play the role of the general evaluator, as in I will not be evaluating the overall speech or overall flow of the meeting. I'll simply give it opportunity for our evaluators to evaluate the speakers. Nidhi, speaking of evaluations, do you have access to speaker number one's evaluation forms? Just give me a thumbs up if you have.
Yes, yes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I just want to make sure that there was no confusion there. And the confusion basically came from me because I was getting confused about who was going to evaluate whom. What I did today, let me give you a little bit of background on my current life mode. I was a software engineer for a very long time. And then recently, sometime last year, I decided that software engineering was a little too boring and I wanted to switch away from software engineering. And now I'm a full-time stand-up comic. And my big achievement this year, not a big achievement, my resolution this year is to perform at least at 2 open mics every week, which is the best way. Performing is the best way you can get better at performing. It's like, just like Toastmasters, you need to attend meetings and participate in meetings to become better speakers and better Toastmasters. Just get comfortable being in front of people and talking. The same way a stand-up comedian has to perform as much as they can. And the more they perform, the better they are at reading the audience, the better they are at identifying what audiences like to hear, what joke is landing at what level with the audience. So that stuff you cannot get simply by observing other comedians or by watching videos on tutorials on how to be funny. Those things are great to get you started, but the real learning happens when you're out there performing. And if your jokes flop, they flop. If they don't flop, amazing. And thankfully today, my jokes, I wouldn't say they were super successful, but they were okay. They were getting there. And I can't tell you the jokes, because Vimsy has been very particular that the jokes have to be non-political, cannot have any sexual content or any religious angle. And most of my jokes have a little bit of all of that. So I cannot really tell you the jokes, but I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to perform for you guys and entertain you. And the reason I'm killing some time right now is because our speaker number 2 is not here yet. And I don't want to have a situation where our speaker number 1 has finished and speaker number 2 is not there yet. So that's why I'm killing a little bit of time. So let me maybe ask a few people if they are familiar with stand-up comedy. Ritika, do you watch stand-up comedy? Let me add you to the spotlight.
Yes.
Oh, great. What kind of stand-up comedy do you like?
Like based on hostels and all.
So like Bassi, that guy.
Yes. My favorite comedian is Bassi.
He's really good. And many
Yeah.
of his stories are about college days and how he used to have fun and all that. I like the guy. Though he's also a comic and I'm also a comic, so I should be feeling competitive about it. But I think he's a great comic, and he's earned his following and his support. Great. What about Shyam? Do you like stand-up comedy?
Yeah, sure. I love stand-up comedy. My current, it keeps changing, like the comics I prefer from time to time. My
Right.
current favorite is Shamik Chakrabarti. I like his style because I wouldn't say it's observational comedy, but it's in like day-to-day mundane things that he just notices, and like there's no no cuss words, no vulgarity, but it's just plain stuff that happens in life, but I find it very funny. So I
Yeah.
like that.
You
Yeah.
need all sorts of comedy. You can't just have all Bassi type comedy or completely like deranged person. Right? You have to have everything. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And
But
also off late, I don't know if this is part of comedy, but I've been participating at improv jams off late. So
Oh,
I
wow.
find that very enjoyable. Yeah.
That must be like, it must be very challenging for you to perform live without any guidance, any cues like that.
I mean, it's not perform per se, it's a jam. So then people come together to perform. We don't perform for a crowd, like we are not putting up shows for anyone. So it's just people come as a safe space, and yeah, you just
But
do
it's
that.
improv, not music. It's not like a singing jam, right?
Oh no, it's not improv. It's not music. Improv is like if you watched Comic Stan in season 2, there were a few segments where you have like these games. Um, it's a lot to do. Like I could relate to table topics a lot with improv because you have to be quick thinking on your feet and you have to be creative. You have to be present in every single moment. Yeah. So
So then why is it that you're not doing it for an audience? If you're doing so much already, are you still working
uh,
out the
I mean, I haven't. I think when you said that you left your full-time job and you started doing comedy, I also thought that someday maybe I'll get there, but I think I'm not there yet. probably I'll explore in like a formal career path that I've been working towards right now. And then maybe at some point, if I say that this is it for me, then probably at that point I might.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I keep telling my wife that I'm suffering from a midlife crisis. All my friends are also roughly the same age as me. They are buying their third houses and buying managed farmland and all that. And I have decided to go into comedy. So that's my midlife crisis, was getting into comedy. I did remember a clean joke, though. I'll tell you once I ask a couple more people what their thoughts are on comedy. Let me ask Rimsey. Let me add you to the spotlight, MC. And
Sure.
what do you like comedy? Do you like stand-up
I
comedy?
really don't watch that much stand-up comedy, to be honest. I need to start getting into it though. I've heard a lot now today here, so I'm gonna go on YouTube, look up like popular videos, and I'll probably start up there.
So since you're already in college, and
Mhm.
so maybe you can start with this guy called Jaspreet Bassi, some J Bassi, Jaswinder Bassi.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one Ritika was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anubhav
of course
Singh
I will.
Bhatti.
Anubhav Singh Bassi. Yes, that's right.
Perfect. I'll look him up tonight. Yeah,
He's
that will
good.
be my thing for today.
Right. Okay, I'm going to drop you from spotlight. I think Tahir is going to speak, so I don't want to bother him now. He's probably worried about his upcoming speech. But yeah, let me tell you the joke, and then we can get into actual speeches. It's a real, it's a grown-up. So you'll have to. So I have a friend called Sunil. You know, he is Su, which means good, and Nil, which means nothing. So we call him good for nothing. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you like the joke. Ritika is like double thumbs up. She liked the joke. Thank you very much. So yeah, I tried this joke with my wife, and she's like, "What? What the hell kind of joke is this?" So you guys are a much more supportive audience than my wife. So my friend Sunil, the good for nothing friend, I'll have to tell him that he was the butt of my joke. Anyway, on this note, I'm going to move into the actual speech making of tonight's show. And for that, we have a couple of evaluators who will be evaluating the speech from a technical perspective, starting with Ritika, who's our timer. So Ritika, could you please tell us how you plan to execute your role?
Yeah. So I'm the timer for today's meeting. My job is to record time duration. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So my duty is to record the time duration of every speech. Every speaker is given a time limit. So I will be changing the colors in my background. For project speaker during 5 to 7 minute speech, I will show green at 5, then yellow at 6, and red at 7. Every speaker will be given 30 seconds grace period to wrap up their speech. And for the speech evaluators, the timelines are 2, 2.5, and 3. I will show green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. And same applies for the project evaluator also. They will be given 30 seconds grace period for wrapping up their speech. And at the end of the session, I will present the report for every speaker. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Ritika. Let me replace you with our second role player, which is Rimsi, who's going to explain to us how she plans to do the R counters role.
Perfect. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters and all of the guests. As the owl counter today, I'll be listening to what the speakers say and marking down on chart any inappropriate word or sound used as a space filler. Space fillers can be words as and, well, but, and you know. Inappropriate sounds may be or I will also note when a speaker speaks a word or a phrase, such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will provide my report.
Thank you so much, Rimsi. Let me take back the spotlight from you. The first speaker tonight is Toastmaster Tahir Bootwala, who's going to be attempting his level 1 project 2 speech, but he will be evaluated by our presiding officer, Nidhi. So could I please ask Nidhi to come on spotlight and explain how she plans to evaluate Tahir?
Welcome back, audience. Yeah. So I would be assessing Toastmasters Tahir's speech, and the purpose of this project is to learn and review the basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present it in a well organized speech. I would be evaluating basis on the 5 factors, majorly on the vocal variety, clarity, eye contact, gestures, and the purpose and interest. With due respect, I wish all the very best to the Toastmaster Tahir. Toastmaster Tahir for the level 1 and dynamic leadership. Title would be Transforming Challenges into Growth. Toastmaster Tahir, Transforming Challenges into Growth, Toastmaster Tahir.
I get a feeling that Tahir, hold on 1 second. I get a feeling that Nidhi wants my job. She wants to be the Toastmaster of the day.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Tahir, I just want to quickly confirm with you that you can see Ritika's background changing. Ritika, if you could switch your background from blurred to green, yellow, and red. And Tahir, please repeat the color you see.
Yellow, green, red.
All right. Since Tahir is able to see the timing signals, we are now ready. He's now ready to start his speech. Sorry. Toastmaster Tahir Bhootwala, transforming challenge into growth. Transforming challenge into growth. Toastmaster Tahir Bhootwala.
Good evening, everyone. Have you ever been in a situation where everything around you seemed like we are falling apart and people were looking at you to taking a charge to lead you? How did you respond? Did you raise the opportunity or did you hesitate seeing that unsure of the next step? This moment defines me a leadership ability to adapt, inspire, and thrive in the face of adversity. Today, I want to share my thoughts on what it means to be a dynamic leader, drawing from my own journey and a real life exam story of transformation. What is dynamic leadership? Dynamic leadership isn't about having all the answers or holding a positions of a power. It's about the adaptability, resilience, and the courage to step forward when others are stepped back. It's about being a catalyst for change and growth. Let me ask you, who comes to your mind when you think of a great leaders? Someone who inspired you, helped you to grow, or guide you in your tough time. Think about their qualities for a moment, where they're empathetic or inspiring. Let me take you back to a pivotal moment in my life when I was joined in the first organizations. I was very excited, but I also terrified. I have no idea what is getting into. Everything was new, the people, the task, and the expectations of the management. It felt like a caterpillar trapped in a cocoon, unsure if it ever be emerge. But then something shifted. I remember a powerful quote by John Maxwell: "Leadership is not about the titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another." So I decided to stop focusing on my fears and instead I focused on the building relationship, learning from others, growing step by step. Slowly, I started to see the progress, not just in my work, but in my confidence. That experience taught me the leadership isn't about being a perfect. It's about showing up, learning, and growing even when it's uncomfortable. Let me share you a powerful example of a dynamic leadership from a corporate world. Everybody who may know the Satya Nadella, hands up. He is the CEO of the Microsoft company. So when Nadella took over the CEO positions in 2014, Microsoft was struggling. It was known as a rigid competitive organization that was falling behind in the innovations. But Nadella has brought a new a vision rooted in a empathetics and a collaborations. He shifted the company cultures from one of the internal competition to another teamwork and growth. Under his leadership, Microsoft embraced the new technologies, includes cloud computing and AI, and became one of the most valuable company in the world. Nadella dynamic leadership wasn't just about strategy; it's about transforming the company mindset. He once said, "Leadership is about bringing out the people in the best in the people, where they feel in, inspired to achieve the things they never thought possible." Le- dynamic leadership shares the three qualities enabled to inspire the changes. The first one, vision and adaptability. A dynamic leader see how the beyond the immediate challenge and adapt to change the circumstances. Charles Darwin once said, "It is not the strongest one, it bases that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the most adaptable to change they survive." The second one, empathy and a connection. True leader connects with the people on a human level. They listen, they build the trust. What this is what makes others want to follow them. And the third, empowerment and growth. Dynamic leader doesn't do not just lead; they create more leader. They empower others to grow, contribute to thrive. Reflecting on my own ice-breaking speech, I see this principle played a role in my journey. Initially, I was doubt my ability to take the leadership role or even speaking confidently in front of others. But I embraced the small challenges like delivering my first speech, connecting my mentors, and learning from my feedback. From feedback, I began to grow. This growth wasn't just about me, it's allowed others to encourage to face their fears and embrace their own transformation. Leadership isn't about having all the answers or being a loudest voice in the room. It's about the resilience, adaptability, and inspiring others to grow alongside with you. So next time when you face a challenge, remember this. You have the power to be a dynamic leader, not just by overcoming the challenges, but by transforming into an opportunity for growth and inspiring others to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tahir. I really like the way you said that your transformation is not just working to improve you as a speaker and as a leader, you're inspiring others to embrace small changes in their own personality, their own life to achieve the same goals as you, same ends as you. That's exactly what Toastmasters is all about. It's about growing together, peer-to-peer learning, watching how others do things and getting inspired by it, learning from it. And I think it's a really good insight that you've shared in your in your speech that you just shared with us. Our second speaker today is Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta, who has been a Toastmaster for a while, and she is going to share her speech with us. But before that, I'm going to call up her evaluator, Toastmaster Sandhya, to explain how she plans to evaluate Bhuvi.
Thank you, Toastmasters today. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. So the second speaker tonight, Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta, is attempting her level 2 project 2 from her pathway dynamic leadership. The purpose of the speech is for the speaker to tell us about her communication style. So ideally, she will tell us about different communication styles that she knows of and how she understands her own communication style. The time limit for a speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
The person you see on screen is Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta, who happens to be a brand manager at ICICI Bank. So all those orange and white things that you see, some of it is because of Bhuvi. So you can either thank her or you can blame her because you're seeing all these logos and brands and all these fun things from that her team is doing. All right. So it looks like Bhuvi plans to share her screen. That's great news. All right. Speaker number 2 is Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta. Communication is being. Communication is being. Speaker 2, Bhuvi Gupta.
My screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Hello, is my screen visible? Okay. Was
Yes,
I
it
audible?
is.
Or is there a lag? Okay.
Your network seems to be a little weak. You're audible,
Yeah.
but you seem to be freezing a little. It's getting better, your network.
I fingers crossed that it remains so. Apologies in advance because yes, it is a little unstable. So,
Bhuvi, looks like your audio is not very clear.
a speech in Toastmasters, which is a club for improving communications about communication.
Toastmaster Bhuvi, you're not audible
A little
clearly.
bit of inception right here. For my speech today, I would like to add that,
Bhuvi, one second.
unlike
Bhuvi, 1 second. I'm really sorry, but your audio and your screen share was okay, but your audio is really not clear, and we cannot see you anymore. Did she drop out of the meeting? She looks like
she's
she
dropped out.
Yeah. So let's just wait for a few minutes until Bhuvi is able to come back. And while that is happening, maybe I can entertain you with a few more jokes. Let's see if I can find some things which I can share. You guys have you guys been following the news about TikTok getting banned in the US? How many people have been following that news? All right, yeah. So looks like TikTok is getting banned, and the only way for TikTok to survive is for TikTok to be purchased by some American company. I'll finish the joke while Bhuvi is logging back in. So the only way for TikTok to survive in the US market is for some American company to buy TikTok, and the company which is going in talks to buy TikTok, or the front runner to buy TikTok, happens to be Microsoft. And you know what TikTok is famous for? It's famous for its recommendations and how good it is at predicting what you really want to do, which is great because Microsoft used to have a product called Clippy. You guys remember in Microsoft Word, there used to be this paperclip which used to come up and tell you what to do. Oh,
yes.
So this used to be a thing in Microsoft Word, that there used to be a thing called Clippy which comes up and says, did you want to save a file? Did you want to do this? Do you want to? You just keep giving all these useless recommendations that nobody ever found helpful. So maybe once TikTok is acquired by Microsoft, maybe Clippy's performance as a recommendation engine will improve after TikTok's purchase. But that is for something for us to find out later, because right now we're going to call Bhuvi back on stage. Timer, please reset Bhuvi's time because none of us could hear anything. So we're going to assume she's starting afresh. Let me spotlight Bhuvi. Ouch. Why am I not able to spotlight Bhuvi? There she is. Speaker number 2, Bhuvi Gupta. Communication is being. Communication is being. Speaker 2, Bhuvi Gupta.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I'll just do a quick check. Am I audible and is my screen visible?
You're audible, but there's a lot of, it's very choppy.
I think it's still a little patchy, but I'm going to try my best and go again.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
I have a suggestion. Bhuvi,
What should I do? Should I just switch off my camera?
Yeah, turn off your video.
Bhuvi, can you hear us?
That's not. But then there's hardly a speech, right? I can.
You're anyway screen sharing, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. Now am I audible?
Yeah, it's better.
Audible or no? Okay, all right. I'll start now. Unlike a personality, having one is optional. We all have a communication style. Why? Well, unlike personality, which is usually a bastion of extroverts, even silence is communication. Yes, communication can be both verbal as well as non-verbal. And in fact, they say that 90% of communication is non-verbal. How you ask? Well, when you walk into a room, there are so many cues using which people judge you or you are communicating. This means it's the clothes that you're wearing. How well dressed you are communicates how much you care about your appearance, how seriously you take yourself, and how vain you are. Your expressions. A quick look at your face can communicate whether you're upset, sad, or stressed. The gestures that you make, they basically communicate how, you know, unconfident or overconfident you are. And next, when you speak, the minute you speak, it is the tone of your voice that communicates how you are feeling. There are basically two kinds of people in the world. And I'm now going to turn to all of you to, with a show of hands, if you can share, how many of you respond to texts in 5 minutes? Okay. I actually see no show of hands. So I think everybody is like a late responder. Oh, okay, except for Sai. Okay, Sai responds in 5 minutes. That's good. The rest of us believe in waiting. Next question. How many of you know the two kinds, right? People who make plans and people who just like to attend. So yeah, quite a few hands up that are going. How many of you can, third question, how many of you were, invariably chosen to be the class monitor or the prefect, head boy, head girl, etc.? Yeah, I see quite a few hands going up. So where I'm going with this is that we all have a very distinctive personality style, right? And these personality styles are often unconscious. So basically, according to science, there are four personality styles. First is the assertive personality style, which according to me is the best personality style because this personality style knows how to communicate, knows how to set boundaries. They basically follow up. They veer on over communication rather than under communication. The second personality style is passive, wherein you basically just let things be and let things happen. And this can be often detrimental because people don't understand with you what they can and they what cannot do. So therefore, passive is just when you just are. Third is aggressive, when you're overly communicative about your needs and you're constantly following up. This can oftentimes become a little painful, and I'm sure we all know people who are just always on our backs to do something. And the fourth kind is a mixture of both passiveness as well as aggressiveness. It's passive aggressive, where somebody who's passive never gets their needs met because they have never ever communicated what their needs are. And therefore, they end up becoming aggressive, but in a passive manner. Now, when I look back at my own personality, one big learning for me has been over the years that I have been passive a lot. And this is actually one of the core reasons why I ended up even joining Toastmasters, because I often felt that things were happening to me, and I didn't realize that I need to actually be in the driver's seat. Now, going back to some of the questions that all of you also answered, I think I did see some amount of hesitation also when you were answering the questions, because actually we are different when we are communicating with different people. So, for example, when Sai is communicating with Sandhya, he might be extremely responsive because he knows her, he's known her for very well for the last many years. But when he's communicating with me, he might be a little different. When he's communicating with Nidhi, uh, he may take time to respond because of course it may not be so urgent. So therefore we all are different according to the people that we are interacting with, and that is the basic biggest learning from my own communication style, that the person that you are with, you have to adapt to their communication style. You have to read what their communication style is, whether they're passive, they're aggressive, they're passive aggressive, or they're assertive. And you have to optimize and make up for what they are or they are not doing, so that you can basically communicate effectively and actually achieve your goals. This becomes especially important in the corporate world when there is a certain amount of responsiveness that people have. So basically my biggest learning has been that while I have been passive in the past, the best way and the most effective way of communicating is being assertive and is ensuring that you make up for what the other person may or may not be able to do. Thank you.
We didn't need to do more screen sharing.
Yeah.
After the speech is over.
Yeah, that was ending on this. I think there's a little bit of mix up.
Oh, so I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Ouch, my bad.
Okay, never mind.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
So should I do the last bit again?
Yes,
because
please.
I was trying to, I was trying to share my screen, but I was unable to.
Please do.
So before I end, I would like to say that you have to adapt to what the other person's personality is like, what they are communicating, whether they're understanding what you're saying, what their cultural nuances are, because otherwise you may just end up in a soup, like was recently experienced when Trump and Modi were talking, and basically Trump was talking about how how he will impose tariffs on India, but Modi either heard it or projected it as tarif, tarif, tarif. Thank you.
I'm very sorry, everyone, for the confusion with Bhuvi's speech. I apologize deeply to Bhuvi and to the audience for the mistake I made. Let's take a few minutes to kill some time before and give our evaluators a moment to collect their thoughts and come up with an evaluation for their respective speakers. We have Melvin who joined the meeting midway. So Melvin, can you turn on your video and maybe tell us a few things about what kind of stand-up comedy you like? Melvin is usually pretty responsive. If this video is not coming on, it probably means he's traveling back home. All right. So while Melvin is figuring, oh, there he is. He's coming back to the meeting. While Melvin is figuring out his video situation, let me maybe ask if Kashif is back in the meeting. Kashif, can I turn on your video? There
My
he is.
phone. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's bad network or my phone is having an issue. You just took my name and Zoom just crashed.
All right, I'm gonna add it to the spotlight. So we're trying to kill some time while our evaluators are figuring out their evaluation. So what kind of stand-up comedy do you like? Do you like stand-up comedy?
I do watch stand-up comedy. I used to follow Ramesh Saurabh Pant. Saurabh, I think Asian comedy, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know the name.
Oh,
Does anybody else
okay.
know the
Yeah, I mean, this was about 7 to 8 years back.
Huh.
They used to do a lot of stand-up then, and EIC, I think EIC was the name of the group.
I
They
see.
used to host a lot of people. The recent stand-up comedy I watched live was Kenny Sebastian. I watched it in St. Andrews,
Hmm.
the tour that he was doing. I'm an Adrian, so I could relate to going to college back, and it was a good show. I took my sister there for Valentine's Day. It was a date with my sister before she moved to Berlin for 2 years, and we went to Hirsch. I mean, a good outing though.
I see. I see. So I don't know the
Yeah.
name, but I'm assuming that your sister enjoyed the show in your company.
You don't know Kenny Sebastian also.
There are lots of these
Okay.
comedians now. I'm hoping.
Okay. Tanmay Bhatt.
Huh?
Tanmay Bhatt.
Who?
Tanmay.
Yeah. I can.
Okay. Okay. At least you know Tanmay Bhatt. We should connect one day and then discuss. I mean, what stand-up comedies you know and which are good, and then maybe we can look at them together on a Zoom call or something.
All right. So now I'm gonna actually start the next segment of our meeting, which is the evaluation segment of our meeting. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
Rai.
for participating.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the important thing about giving a speech is not just giving a speech, but also getting the evaluation for that speech, which tells you what you did well and what needs a little bit of improvement. But before I call up the evaluators for our speakers, let me quickly call up our timer, Ritika, to tell us how our speakers did on time. You're muted, yeah.
Yes. So Toastmaster Tahir took 6 minutes 18 seconds and Toastmaster Bhuvi took 6 minutes 51 seconds. So they are all eligible.
Great. Next, I'm going to call up our first evaluator, Toastmaster Nidhi, to evaluate speaker number 1, Tahir. Nidhi, give me 1 second while I spotlight Tahir, then I'll ask you also to check if you can see Ritika's screen changing color. Nidhi, can you see Ritika's screen changing color?
No, I'm not.
What color do you see now?
Yellow, red, green. Perfect. I will be starting.
Wait, hang on. Now that we've checked our timing signals, Ritika's screen needs to go back to white or transparent. Evaluator number 1, Nidhi. Evaluating speaker number 1, Tahir. Evaluator 1, Nidhi. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I have a privilege of evaluating Toastmaster Tahir's speech on his wonderful presentation about transforming challenges into the growth. Overall, I found the speech to be very insightful and motivating. The way you approached a topic is all we can relate to overcoming the obstacles, which was engaging and truly inspiring. Starting with the positives, one of the most notable strengths was your clarity in delivering the core message. You effectively frame challenges as opportunities for the growth, which is such a powerful perspective. The example of Satya Nadella was particularly impactful, illustrating the challenges which can be leveraged for transformation at a corporate level. This was a great choice indeed because it gives us a real world, high profile example. Another highlight was your personal story. By sharing you navigated your own challenge, you brought authenticity. One second, hey. And sorry for the disturbance, and vulnerability to the speech, which allowed the powerful perspective. The suggestions for the improvement was to take the speech to the next level. I recommend focusing on enhancing transitions between the key points. For instance, when you move from discussing the Satya Nadella's leadership to your personal story, a smoother transition would have helped the audience in a better way to follow your thoughts more seamlessly. A simple connecting sentences or a short recap of what you had just shared would make the flow kind of feeling more cohesive. Additionally, while your storytelling was engaging, adding a bit more details to the emotional aspect of your personal experience have make it more even a good storytelling and compelling. By taking all these highs and lows you felt during that challenge, you could allow the audience to not just understand but feel the transformation. Lastly, I feel that engaging the audience directly could help further impacting your messages. So, adding a rhetorical questions or encouraging the audience to reflect on challenges would help them to connect your messages to their life. Over the conclusion, I would say like your speech on transforming challenges into the growth was both inspiring and insightful. You effectively conveyed the power of reframing the obstacles, believing everyone in this room walked a mile with a renewed sense of how to approach a life's difficulties. By fine tuning into the transitions, adding more emotional aspect into your storytelling will increase your audience engagement and the speech will become create a more greater impact. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. I could see that there was a bit of distraction on your side, but hopefully, if you get a chance and if you have a minute, please share your feedback directly one-on-one with Tahir so that he gets the full value of the work that you did in evaluating the speaker. Next, we're going to have Toastmaster Sandhya evaluating speaker number 2, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Let me spotlight Sandhya, and alongside her, let me also spotlight Bhuvi. Sandhya, can you see the timer's screen changing color?
Yeah, I see a green, yellow, red.
Perfect. Evaluator number 2, Sandhya Krishnan. Sandhya Krishnan, evaluator number 2. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, come General Evaluator, and good evening again, everyone, especially my speaker, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Toastmaster Bhuvi, it is said that good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. And I want to congratulate you for giving a speech that was very clear in its message. Today, you told us that the communication style that you prefer and you encourage all of us to adapt is to be assertive in communication as well as to adapt to the different styles of communication of others and accordingly communicate. So that was a message which came out clearly through your speech. The other things that I liked about your speech were that the choice of your slides, I thought, was very creative. Usually, this is not a speech where people use PPTs or slides. And also, when people do use presentations, it often hampers the speech. But I'm so glad that you used a visual communication that enhanced your speech and did not deter your speech in any way. And the choice of your slides was also very creative. They were funny, but at the same time, also thought provoking. The third thing that I liked about your speech was the audience engagement. You asked questions to the audience. You asked them what type of communicators they are. Do they respond to messages immediately or not, and so on. So you got the audience attention there. So that was something very well done. But having said this, how can you improve your speech? So there are a couple of recommendations that I would give. The first one is the structure of the speech itself. So when you started, I thought your main point in your speech was about verbal and non-verbal communication. But somehow suddenly it shifted to being an assertive communicator and adapting to different styles of communication. and the verbal non-verbal was left behind. It never came back into the speech. And also there was no bridge between these 2 points. Also, the conclusion I thought was a little abrupt. It was probably also because the Toastmaster of the day was not able to understand whether that was the conclusion. But I would confess that I also had that confusion because you said thank you, and then a slide also came up. It was probably also a technical glitch, but that made the conclusion less impactful. So that is something that you could look into. Finally, the recommendation that I would give you is to use more personal examples about what your own communication style is and how did you adapt to that? How did you come to that communication style? What do you think are the positives of the communication style? How did you pick it up? Did Toastmasters play a role in telling you about different communication styles and help you adapt to one? So that also I thought was a little missing. But overall, Toastmaster Bhuvi, I think you fulfilled the objective of the project, which was to tell us about communication styles. Very engaging speech in terms of both audience engagement and presentation. But like I said, make the conclusion a little bit more effective and have a better structure to the speech with personal examples. Otherwise, it was a great speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
I'm going to call our timer to announce the timing reports for both the evaluators.
Yes. So Toastmaster Nidhi took 3 minutes 15 seconds and Toastmaster Sandhya took 3 minutes 35 seconds. So that 5 seconds are extra. So only one is eligible for voting.
Sounds good. I had the polls lined up here to edit it. Then I also realized that the red light had been on for a while. So I was waiting for Ritika to tell us what the timings were. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nidhi and Toastmaster Sandhya, for evaluations. Thank you, Ritika, for telling us the time. Now I'm going to call her Rimsi to tell us our counter report.
Okay, so as the R counter, I will quickly give you all a report now. First, I'll start off with our Toastmaster Nidhi. She said she used the filler 7 times, once, twice. And she also took 1 long pause. So that comes to a total of 11. Toastmaster Tahir used fillers 6 times and twice. And then he repeated 3 phrases, which also brings us to a total of 11. Next, we have our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sai. He used the fillers 5 times and once. He also repeated a phrase. So that comes to a total of 7. Next, we have our guest, Sham Sampath. He used fillers 4 times, 4 times, sentence beginners like so once, like once, and also repeated a phrase, which brings us to a total of 11. Next, we have Toastmaster Ritika. She used the filler 6 times and once. And that brings us to a total of 7. Next, we have Toastmaster Sandhya, who used the filler 22 times, 6 times, and sentence beginner so once. She also repeated 2 phrases, which brings us to a total of 31. Next, we have our Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta. She used the filler 12 times, 6 times, or 5 times, and basically sentence qualifier basically once. She also repeated a phrase, which brings us. She also repeated 2 phrases, I believe. So that brings our total to 26. Next, we have Toastmaster Melvin, who used filler twice. And he also used sentence qualifiers, I mean, 2 times. He also repeated a phrase once, and that brings our total to 5. I'm going to excuse myself from this report, but I do remember using ahs and ums plenty of times. Yeah, over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
Thank you very much, Rimsi, for that detailed report. Though I did say I'm the general evaluator come TMOD, I will not be giving a general evaluator's report. but I do feel it's my job because we didn't have the kind of meeting that we usually want to have. And I want to call out a few mistakes that we made. We did a bunch of things which are really nice, but a few mistakes as well. The meeting started on time, so congratulations to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster MC, for not only starting the meeting on time, but also announcing the ground rules and correctly stating the mission of the club. So that was very well done, and also asking everyone to rename themselves according to the role that they want to perform. Good job on that, Ramsey. Congratulations. Next, Nidhi was on deck next as the presiding officer. She opened by welcoming everyone and telling us a little anecdote about her food tour, which she tied in a lovely way with Toastmasters itself. And I found that analogy and that story really, really interesting and inspiring. And kudos on choosing a great story to start the meeting off. She interacted with the guests nicely, which was a good step to make the guests feel that they're part of the meeting and they give them a chance to speak. Then it was my job on deck as the Toastmaster of the day. I did okay. I made a few jokes, but I don't know if that went over well. But we had to kill a little bit of time in the beginning, and that was done successfully. This was a themeless meeting, so there was no real theme as such. But hopefully, our next meeting will be a themed meeting, and we'll have a proper meeting in that regard. Next, both our speakers gave great speeches. One about overcoming adversity, the other about the communication styles. Great job by both the speakers and the evaluators. Our timer did a wonderful job showing the timing screen. Despite all the confusion with who's going to do what at what time, despite a few technical glitches, she was on top of the situation, which shows great presence of mind and readiness to rise to the occasion. So thank you so much, Ritika, for a job well done. And finally, our evaluators, again, their insights are always a big boon and a big bonus for any Toastmaster. And Sandhya and Nidhi both showed why they're so good at giving good evaluations. With that, I come to the conclusion, though I would say, Nidhi, if you could go ahead and give your evaluation once again in person, privately to Toastmaster Tahir, it would be a big help to him to understand what he can do better in his speech. That's just a request. You don't have to do it, but if you could, that'd be wonderful. Other than that, I think we're doing a great job as a club. This meeting was a little bit goofy here and there, but it's all because it's a fifth Thursday meeting. With that, I'm going to hand over charge of the meeting to our presiding officer, and then I will be launching the polls so that you guys can vote for the people you think were the best participants in the meeting.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster of the Day / General Evaluator, for wonderfully organizing a session. What an incredible meeting, though it was not based on any themes, but your stand-up and the market research went very well. I hope you have witnessed a thought-provoking speeches and insightful evaluations. Besides that, it will reflect the way we can learn and grow more. I would like to take a moment to thank all the role players, the speaker, and the evaluator for the contribution. A special thanks for the guest for your presence, which adds so much value to our meeting. I hope ex-Toastmaster Sham and Harsh, we would be seeing you more in upcoming meet, and you have enjoyed the session and looking forward to see you again. So as we close, let's carry the lesson we have learned today into our everyday lives with all the speeches and continue growing as a speaker and a leader. So are the polls done?
Yes, I've sent you the results.
Okay. So the best auxiliary role player, any guesses?
Ramsey?
Yes, correct. So best auxiliary role player is Toastmaster MC. And the next, the best speaker. Any guesses? Though both the speeches were wonderful with some technical glitches on Bhui's end, let me disclose the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Tahir. Thank you so much. I would be personally giving you the feedback. I hope you know how friends are annoying. So sorry from my end, but yeah. At the end, yes, we can finally close off this meeting.
Nidhi, quickly, if you could get feedback from our guests to see.
Yeah, I
anything
was
we can-
coming on to that point. So yeah, Shyam, how did you find this meeting? If you could give us some suggestion.
I enjoyed, but like Sai pointed out, and I hadn't known sooner that it's not a theme meet, like it's a fifth Thursday meeting, so probably more laid back. So I don't think this is a good first meeting to base my evaluation on how meetings are conducted here. But keeping in mind that keeping in mind that the meeting was unthemed and no table topics and everything, I think it was great, and I would definitely love to join back probably a couple more sessions as a guest. And if I like, if I feel like I'm gelling with how the club is and everything, then I might join as a member here. But yeah, overall, I was really looking forward to a table topic session, but probably the next one, I will get it in the next one. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shyam, and we will definitely would like you to come for our upcoming meeting with a theme based, and we'll get a special table topic round for you. Next, Harsh, are you there?
Let me see if I can ask him to turn on his video.
Harsh Agarwal.
Doesn't look like it. Ritika, you can speak to Ritika.
Yeah, so our timer, Ritika. Any
Yeah.
suggestion?
So I I literally liked the meeting and was very excited. And the two speaker was very good. And if I will get more roles, I will be very excited to take them. And I'm looking forward to take more roles. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With this, I would like to call off the meeting